Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto Was Banished and got a supernatural ability. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also stay in tune for What If Izuna Uchiha was Naruto's ancestor. And over on Anime King, I posted a new episode of What If Naruto's a Badass Genius, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And later on, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was the Akatsuki King, so stay in tune for that guys, and I hope you guys enjoy. And also, remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto tells the Konoha group about his time around the elemental nations and some of his things that he did. As Naruto's scrapbook, as Kiba was pissed off to see how much girls Naruto spent his time with. But, they asked him, did he tell the girls about the others? As Naruto told him, what kind of man would he be if he didn't tell them? Sometime later, Naruto was in his room when Ino and Tenten came knocking, as Hinata told them what happened. As Naruto was surprised, the both of them wanted him. Naruto was beyond shock, as he activated the privacy barriers around the room, as the three of them get down to business. As Naruto was thanking God, as life was awesome. The next day came as Naruto said his goodbyes to everyone, as he told them that he'll be safe out there, hugging all of them into a big group hug, while kissing the girls he spent the night with. And with that, Naruto headed off. Naruto found himself in the land of hot water, where he met up with Jiraiya, as he was surprised to see Jiraiya here, as Jiraiya hugged the boy, as it's been 3 years now. As Naruto showed Jiraiya's telekinesis, as Jiraiya was surprised to see that, as Naruto has surely changed over the past 3 years. After checking out the town, Naruto met up with two girls that was involved in the Sky Kingdom, Amara and Sarah. As back then, the both of them weren't ready for anything really serious, but seeing that now they have grown, as Jiraiya was out all night with girls, as Naruto spent the night with the two ladies. The next morning, Jiraiya came back, as Jiraiya told Naruto he should be with those two ladies, but Naruto did not give him any detail or tell him what happened, as Naruto spent the rest of the week with them, and he then headed off. Naruto was at Uzu as he was meditating, when he suddenly got memories, strange flashings, as he saw Gaara facing off against a member of the Akatsuki. As Naruto snapped out of it as he wondered if those were real, he quickly headed towards the sand, as his dreams were real. It seems like his ability is developing in another way to give him those kind of dreams. As Sakura and Kakashi came there, as Sakura worked on Kankuro, and with that, Kankuro gave them the piece of clothing that he tore off of Sasori. So the next morning, Pakura, Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, and Lady Chiyo joined them as the group head out to find Gaara and bring him home, as Naruto was determined to crush the Akatsuki scum. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? So Pakura decided to stay at the village with Temari to run things while they're out retrieving Gaara, as the group was traveling towards the location following Pakon. Meanwhile, in the Akatsuki lair, the process of sealing the Ichibai was still going on until Zetsu spoke. I've caught wind of intruders coming our way. Who is it? asked Pain. Kakashi Hatake, his student Sakura Haruno, Elder Chiyo from the sand, Zetsu said. And one more, Naruto Uzumaki is amongst them. Naruto? said Itachi. Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? Hisame said. Well, ain't this a pain in the ass? Hidan grumbled. If they reach our hideout, they will disrupt the ceiling, said Sasori. What should we do? said Kakazu. Do not panic, we will just have to send someone to deal with them, Pain said. If that's the case, then let me, since I haven't. Phone my Jinjulki yet, Hidan said. No, Hidan. Against the Kyuubi Jinjulki, Kisame and I are the only one able to capture him, without causing a slaughter, said Itachi. And how are we going to do that, seeing that we're further away from this land, said Kisame. Then you'll have to just do that jutsu, Pain said. But to use that jutsu, we will require human sacrifices, said Kisame. That shouldn't be a problem, said Sasori. Back with the guys, they were reaching the edge of the forest until Kakashi spoke. I am sensing something up ahead. I do too, said Shio. What is it, said Sakura. We're about to find out, Naruto said. As they reached the edge of the forest to see Itachi Uchiha and Kisame standing right in front of them. Great, Kakashi said in a sarcastic tone. As Naruto frowned seeing the both of them, as Sakura gazed at Itachi's eyes, those eyes, they're the same as Sasuke. So that's him, he's the one that murdered the Uchiha clan, the one that Sasuke is aiming to kill. Well, what have we here, Kisame said. It's been a long time, Itachi said. I recognize these two from the bingo book, said Shio. Itachi, mutiny of Konoha, wanted for slaughter his own clan, and Kisame, mutiny of Kiri, wanted for slaughtering politics ahead and two feudal lords. And they're both members of the Akatsuki, Naruto said with a frown, as he remembered the last time he met them, and he was too powerless to stand up against them. Naruto, you look like you've grown up well for a banished ninja, said Itachi. A lot of things had happened to me, Itachi. Things you and any other Akatsuki members would quiver in fear of. Isn't that cute? He's learned to talk tough, Itachi, said Kisame. Be careful, you guys. These two are dangerous, said Kakashi. We're wasting time, Naruto said as he thrust his arm forward. As Itachi and Kisame were caught, as Naruto squeezed his palm, as the both of them exploded into a shower of blood. Well, so much for the prodigy of the Uchiha clan, Naruto said. He then took a closer look. What the hell? Fakes, said Sakura, as they warned Itachi or Kisame. I don't understand it, but these two have traces of Kisame and Itachi chakra, said Kakashi. There's no mistake in that. Wait a minute, Chiyo said, as she studied the bodies. I know this one. Is Yoroi, of the Sand Advice Council. He's probably the reason the Akatsuki were able to get into the village that night. Well, we weeded out their spy, Naruto said. I better transfer this information back to the village, she said, as she wrote down the information. As she released a yellow, mechanical bird, as the bird then flew off back to the sand. We have to hurry, time is running out, Naruto said, as the group dashed off, as Zetsu came from the ground. Well, that was indeed unexpected, White Zetsu said. Indeed, how the boy was able to take them down with just throwing out his hand was beyond belief. We should alert this to the others, Black Zetsu said. Back at the Akatsuki lair, Itachi and Kisame appear back in their projection forms. What happened, Pain said. You weren't gone all that long. You wouldn't believe what just happened, said Kisame. It better be a good story, because the bodies we given you, they could only use 30% of your chakra, but you should have been holding them off for at least 30 minutes, said Pain. The kid held his hand out and crushed us some minced meat without even laying a finger on us, said Kisame. What? That's the best excuse you guys can come up with? Deidara said. I know it sounds incomprehensive, but it's true, Itachi said. I don't know how he's able to do that, but he did. What a load of crap, Hidan said. He speak the truth, Zetsu said as he appeared. Whatever that kid did was not something we were prepared for. No matter the ceiling is almost completed. We will just have to make sure they don't make it in time, said Konan. Not to worry, they won't get past the barrier, said Pain. As the group finally reached, there, it is behind there, said Pakon, motioning towards the cave. Good work, Pakon. We will take it from here now. As Pakon poofed away, Sakura pulled on her gloves. Don't worry guys, I'll break it open. Hold on, Sakura. Take a look at that, said Kakashi, pointing at the ceiling tag. What is it? She asked. A ceiling barrier, no of this type. It's a 5 ceiling one. Which means there are 4 more tags around here, and removing one will not break it, they will have to be removed at the same time. How can we find them? Sakura asked. The other 4 cannot be as far from the other one right here. They have to be at least 100 meters within each other. There is more to this barrier than that, Naruto said. Even if we find all of them, I doubt it will be that easily removed. So I have to put in my expertise with my sealing jutsu. He then looked through his scrolls as he pulled out 5 sealing tags. This will help us. What will those do? Kakashi asked. This would negate any backup defensive the tag has once they're removed. Naruto then summoned a dozen clones, split up and find the other tags, he said, as they all split up to look for them. About 3 minutes passed as Naruto felt his clones dispel, as he summoned 4 more, as he handed them the 4th tag. As Naruto leaped up and placed the 1 tag on the cave tag. Alright Sakura, everything is in place, he said. Back inside of the cave, as Naruto placed up the tags outside, Gaara's body slowly fell to the ground. Well, that went well, said Deidara. Finished just in time, the Konoha ninjas are right outside, said Zetsu. So, what do we do? Sasori asked, waiting orders. You and Deidara are the only one physically there. Deal with them however you choose. No sweat, Deidara said, as Pain and the others flicker away and the statue also poofed away. Deidara then reached out into his pouch. Back outside, Sakura dashed forward after Naruto applied the tags, as she smashed her fist into the giant rock as it exploded into pieces. As the group dashed inside, what took you guys so long? Deidara said with a smirk, as the both of them were standing in front of Gaara's body on the ground. Well, Grandma Chiyo, still breathing I see. Sasori, is that really you? Meanwhile, Naruto was just focusing on Gaara. Gaara, are you okay? Gaara, he cried out. Gaara, he said, as Deidara chuckled. Don't waste your time, kid. He's long dead. No, it can't be, Naruto said. No, it can't be, as he clenched his fist. I'll kill you for this, he said, as he was about to rip them to shreds, but two white, giant centipedes break from the ground and wrapped around his legs. Gotcha, Deidara said. Guts! As the centipede around her legs exploded. Deidara, take the body and flee. I'll deal with them, Sasori said. What? You get all the fun? Said Deidara. Just do it, said Sasori. Fine, Deidara said, as he created a clay bird. As it got bigger, as the bird took Gaara in his mouth, and he jumped on top of it, as Deidara took off. All of the smoke was blown away when Naruto rocked out of it, flying straight up. Naruto, Sakura called out. He'll be fine, Sakura. Right now he's our focus, Kakashi said, as he looked towards Sasori, who seemed ready to fight. Meanwhile, Deidara was flying when he turned around. What the hell? As he saw the boy flying behind him. You're not the only one who can go aerial, Naruto said. But bet you I'm the only one can do this, he said, as he launched 3 spiders towards Naruto. Naruto simply flicked his wrist as all of them were sent flying to opposite directions. As Naruto increased his speed and landed on the bird. As Naruto pulled back his fist and thrust it forward, Deidara turned around just in time, as Naruto's hand ripped right through his gut. As Naruto realized what the hell, his hand was being absorbed. Suddenly, Deidara started to turn white, as he was a clay, as the real Deidara emerged on the bird. You fell for it. Neat trick, Naruto said. Now here's one of my own, he said as he stood still. As he started to concentrate, as Deidara saw the top of his eyes changing. As Naruto entered stage mode, he ripped his arm straight out of the clone, tearing it to pieces. As Naruto pulled Deidara straight up to him, he pulled back his fist and smashed it into Deidara's face, sending him sailing off the bird. As Naruto ripped the bird open in mid-air, as he created a clone, take Gaara to safety, he said. The clone flew off after taking Gaara, as Naruto saw Deidara on another bird, as Deidara had his hand in the correct hand sign. Guts, he said. Before the bird exploded, Naruto launched himself up like a rocket so he wouldn't get caught in the explosion. As Naruto saw the tongues coming from the mouth in Deidara's palms. Those arms of yours allow you to create these explosives. Well, let's see how you are without them, Naruto said. As he focused, as Deidara felt his arms being moved apart. What the hell? As he tried to pull them back, but they weren't. As Naruto thrust his own arms apart from each other. As Deidara cried out in pain and agony as his arms were ripped off as a shower of blood rained down. I'm gonna kill you, Naruto said, as he dashed towards Deidara as a giant Rasengan formed his arm. As Naruto smashed his Rasengan right into Deidara, Deidara's body was sent spiraling down into the ground with a loud boom. As Naruto dropped into the ground like a missile as well, as he walked up slowly towards Deidara. Just what the hell are you, Deidara asked. Your worst nightmare, Naruto said. As he started to step forward, Deidara looked behind him, seeing his clay bird, as he took a bite out of it. It doesn't matter, brat. I'm gonna take you out with me. Naruto, get out of there. He's gonna blow up, said Kurama. As Deidara started to puff up in size, but Naruto quickly dashed straight up into the air. As Deidara went off in a boom, destroying a huge part of the forest. The force of the explosion sent Naruto flying back, even though he was already a distance away, as he finally came to a stop. That was close, he said. He was trying to take you out with him, said Kurama. His efforts were all for nothing, Naruto said, as he then saw his clone coming up to him with Gaara. As he dispelled his clone and looked at Gaara, who was on the ground, lifeless. As Naruto went on his knees, Gaara, I'm so sorry, he says. He starts to cry. A few minutes later, Naruto. As Naruto saw the group coming up to him. What happened, Kakashi said. We saw the explosion. I got Gaara back, but the guy blew himself up. What happened to you guys, Naruto said. Well, it was a tough fight, but we defeated him, said Sakura. But we were still too late, Naruto said, as he looked at Gaara. As the group headed back to the sand village. Some time passed as Gaara was lying down on a bed. As Kankuro, Temari, Baki, Pakura, and several sand ninjas are surrounding him. Gaara, Temari said. This can't be, Kankuro said. Or Kazekage, the other ninja said. Poor guy, said Pakura. Why did it have to end like this for him, Naruto said, shedding some tears. Lady Chiyo then stepped forward. It doesn't have to. Elder Cho, said Baki. I know what to do for Kazekage, Lady Chiyo said, as her hands started to glow. Lady Chiyo, said Kankuro as he gasped. If you use that technique, you will end up... Baki was stopped by her as she held her hands out, telling him to be silent. I am well aware of the consequences. You forget, I was the one who developed this jutsu. What is she doing, Kakashi asks. A special type of healing jutsu she created. She can transfer her own life force into someone who is dead. Restore them. With the cost of her own life, said Temari. As Sakura was shocked. But then, she will die. This village needs its Kazekage, and besides, I have a debt to repay, she said. A debt? Naruto said. Yes, I was the one ordered by the 4th Kazekage to steal the Shikaku inside of Gaara. So I was responsible for making him the monster he once was. But now it's time I atone for that, she said, as she started to transfer her own life energy. Soon, Lady Chiyo started to fell into unconsciousness, as she then fell backwards as Kankuro caught her. As Gaara's finger then twitched, as he slowly opened his eyes to see everyone around him. What happened, he said. Gaara, Temari cried. As Gaara looked around seeing everyone, and then his focus stopped on Naruto. Naruto, he said. As he then looked over to see Lady Chiyo. Why is Lady Chiyo sleeping, or is she playing possum like she usually does, he asked. She gave up her own life to save yours, Kankuro said. I see. As Gaara gave a bow of respect towards Lady Chiyo. Thank you, Lady Chiyo, he said. I won't waste his life, he thought to himself. Meanwhile, in the Akatsuki lair, the cave roof was blasted open, and the place was in shambles. Zetsu was looking over the puppet body of Sasori. So, this is his true form, he said. Hey, over here, Mr. Zetsu, I found it. A jovial voice called out. As Zetsu looked over at the masked man. Maybe now I can become a member of the Akatsuki, huh? There's an open spot open, right? The figure asked while flipping the ring into the ear. Idiot. It's not that easy, Black Zetsu said. Oh, give him a break. After all, Toby is a good boy, White Zetsu said. Toby then dropped the rings in a pile of rocks. Oh no, he says he tried to reach for it. We're going now, Zetsu said as they start to walk off. Wait a minute, Mr. Zetsu, please, Toby said as he was reaching through the rocks. It's right here. I'm sure I can get it. He then noticed Zetsu still walking off. Mr. Zetsu, he said. Elsewhere, Deidara burst out from the ground, looking like a total mess. Damn, that kid was something else. If I hadn't swapped with that clay clone, I would have been dead right now. And my goddamn arms, he said, as he looked around. Back at the sand village, some time had passed as they had Lady Chiyo funeral, as the group stand side by side at each other. Well, we better get home now, said Kakashi. Have a safe trip home, said Kankuro. And thank you for everything, Temari said. Until we meet again, Gaara said. What about you, Naruto? Are you taking off as well? Asked Sakura. Nah, I'm gonna stick around here until things get back to normal. Besides, I was due for a visit here anyway, he said. Well, hope to see you again someday, Kakashi said, as the two Konoha shinobi took off. As Naruto waved him off, as he turned back to Gaara. Naruto, thank you for what you did for me. No problem, you may not be a Jinchuriki anymore, but you and I will always have that special bond. As he extended his hand as Gaara shook it. Meanwhile, look what I found, said Toby. Looks like Deidara blew himself up. He must be in peace around here as he was holding on to one of Deidara's arms. Release that, you idiot, said Deidara. You're alive, Toby said. Where's the Jinchuriki, Zetsu asked. Don't look at me, I did my job, Deidara said, panting in exhaustion. Well, at least you're in one piece, Toby said. Oh, he didn't realize his joke, I'm sorry. Deidara frowned. Toby, even a Buta loses his patience when you insult them a third time. One more word from you. You're just going to blow me to death, right, said Toby. That was the third one, Zetsu said. As Deidara started to strangle Toby with his legs. As Zetsu shook his head. The boss isn't going to like this. Later that night in the sand, as he was in a spare room. Man, this was a wild day, he said, dealing with 2 members of the Akatsuki and running into Itachi and Kisame. Well, they were fakes. Indeed, and now that they start to act, it will only be a matter of time before they go after others like Utikata and Fu, said Kurama. I know, I better send a message to them to be wary for when they step out of the village. Naruto then heard a knock at his door as he spoke. Yes? Can I come in, Naruto? As Naruto recognized the voice as Temari. Of course, he said. As the door opened, as both Temari and Pakura enter. Evelyn, Naruto said. How's everything going in the council, he asked. Everything is getting much better, she said. Hopefully this time you get someone who's not an undercover agent, Naruto said. No kidding, Temari said. So, any reason you girls came over here, Naruto said. Well, as your hostess, we had to make sure you are happy, she said. After all that happened today, you're sure that would be wise, he said. What would your Kazekage think? What Gaara doesn't know won't hurt him, said Pakura. Indeed, said Temari. As Naruto watched the both of them start to remove their robes. As Naruto looked up into the air, as the both of them looked at him, I just want to thank you, God, he said. As both girls giggled, as they made their way over to the bed. Within 3 hours, Naruto was under the covers with the girls, snuggled up next to him. Well, girls, this was quite a round, he said. Yeah, you always know how to pleasure us in the right ways, Temari said. And that's a fact, said Pakura. Thanks for the fun tonight, girls. I needed it, Naruto said. So did we, after all the tension we've been having since Gaara was abducted, said Temari. Well, he's back and better than ever, Naruto said. All thanks to you, said Pakura. I can't take all the credit, after all. Chiyo was the one who brought him back to life. Both of your efforts were essential in bringing Gaara back, said Temari. Yeah, Naruto said. Good night, girls. As the 3 of them then fell asleep right there. Time skip. Traveling through a forest was 5 people, as each of them wore a headband of Kumo. The group of 5 was composed of 2 adults and 3 teenagers. Killer B, Samui, Yujito, Karu, and Amoy. Killer B and Yujito being the adult, while Samui, Karu, and Amoy being the teenagers. The next town should be right outside this forest, Yujito said to the 3 younger shinobi. Alright, Yujito, Samui said. Oh man, but anything could happen to us before we even reach a town out here, Amoy said. We could get ambushed by an enemy ninja and one of us end up getting hurt. Then we have to carry them the rest of the way, then tell us to go on without them. Amoy, you're thinking too much again, Karu said. Sorry, Karu, but these things just come to me, Amoy said. Amoy, fretting like a baby is just not right. Worrying too much will just give yourself a fright, Killer B said. Yes, B-sensei, said Amoy. As the 5 continued, Yujito stopped. Yujito, what's up? Karu asked. I feel a strange presence close to us, she said. I feel it too, B said. What could it be? Samui asked. I don't know, but move carefully and stay on alert, she said. I knew something like this is going to happen, Amoy said, as Karu smacked him in the back of the head. They continued on until they started to hear the sound of flowing water, a waterfall, as they saw someone bathing in the creek with his back facing them. He had short red hair and his waist was under the water. They kept themselves hidden as they heard him humming to himself, as he spread his arms and spin around in the water, looking up at the sky. Who is that? Amoy said. I don't know, Samui said. Karu, who saw how much of his body was exposed, blushed a bit. We should go, she said. Hold on, that presence Yujito and I felt. It is coming from him, B said. And it's familiar, Yujito said. It should, after all, Dinibi said. It's like us and B. You mean, Yujito said. Yes, that boy is a Jinjulki. B, he's got one as well, said the Hatsubi. It's the Kyubi, or Kurama. What should we do? B asked. I personally say we go and communicate with him. After all, what's the chances of you two meeting other humans that are blessed with Bijus like Monotobi and myself? Well, I see your point, said B. As the group then turned, we're going in, but not to attack him, Yujito said. What? Karu said. But what if he attacks us? Said Amoy. Amoy, Karu. Listen to their orders, said Samui. Meanwhile, Naruto was still having a bath until he heard Kurama. Naruto, we got company. They're moving rather slow. I don't feel like they're going to attack though, Kurama said. Can't the guy take a bath in peace, Naruto said as he spun around. He lowered himself into the water so only his neck was above. Sorry, so sorry. We didn't mean to intrude on your private time, Amoy said, waving his hands around. We mean you no harm, Yujito said. As Naruto eyed their headband, Kumo ninja? Just my luck, he said as he then spoke out loud. How can I trust you Kumo ninjas, he asked. You're right, you can't trust those you don't know. But how about trusting others like you who have the same flow, B said. As Naruto raised an eyebrow. What the hell was that, he said. He means perhaps you will trust others with what you have, and they have the same. Have what I have, Naruto said. Kurama, are those two? Yes, the dark-skinned one over there. And the oldest blonde one, Kurama said. They're also Jinjulkis. The two Biju inside of them I'm closer with than the others. The Haksabi and the Nibe. Could you all please turn around while I dry off, Naruto said. As they all nodded and turned around, as Naruto started drying himself with a towel. As he then started to get dressed. Whoa, that younger one there. She has a nice upper department, he said. That's the first thing you notice, huh? Said Kurama. How could I have not? Naruto said. You're becoming worse and worse every day, Kurama said. Okay, I'm done, Naruto said to the group. So, what's your name, kid? Yujito asked. It's common courtesy to introduce yourself first, Naruto said. Smug kid, isn't he? Karu said. But he raised a good point, Amoy said. My name is Amoy. And I am Samui, Samui said. And I am Karu. I'm Yujito. I'm the Rat Master Killer B. Fool ya fool, be greeted. My name is Naruto. Nice to meet you all, Naruto said. B approached as he extended his fist out to Naruto. Meet my fist, yo. As Naruto looked at the fist, as he remembered meeting Matt and Steve and the others, his mind escaped all those years ago. And they used some kind of gestures like this. As he boom fist with B. Yujito then turned. You three, keep on guard, she said. As Yujito and B stood in front of Naruto extending their hands. As Naruto placed his hand on theirs, and like with Utakata and Fu, he found himself in a void. With Kurama behind him, as he looked to see Yujito and B, with a two-tailed cat behind her, and there was an ox behind B, with 8 giant tails. Well, Kurama, it's been a long time, said the Hatsubi. Long indeed. Though, what happened to your horn? He asked, noticed part of his horn was chopped off. I picked a fight with the wrong guy. Third Raikage. So, this boy is your latest host, the two-tailed cat said. That's right, kitty cat, said Kurama. Don't call me that, said Monatabe. Can't help it, Kurama said as he chuckled. Have you met any of the others, Kurama? Hatsubi asked. As a matter of fact, I have. Shikaku, Saikon, and Komi. And how are they? Monatabe asked. Well, Saikon and Komi are doing well. Shikaku on the other hand. What? Said the 8 tails. He's been sealed away elsewhere after being extracted from his host. What? The both of them said. Well, he was a nutball anyway, the 8 tail said. So the 2 tail and the 8 tail. Kumo got lucky in having 2 Bijus, Naruto said. Well, they tried to get me as well, said Kurama. You, Kurama? When? Naruto said. Many years ago, long before I was sealed inside my previous host. Before her. I fought these 2 Kumo shinobis known as Gold and Silver Brothers. Kinkaku and Ginkaku, said Yujito. I swallowed the both of them whole, and they started to eat the inside of my stomach. 2 weeks after that, I puked them up. Thank you for that very disturbing sight, Naruto said. So, both of you are Jinjulki, Naruto said. I assume you had the same life as I did. If you mean like being treated like scapegoats and village pariahs, then yes, Yujito said. We all started like that until we got what made us stronger. Like the gods above, and that is love, B said. Love, Naruto said. As Naruto remembered all the love, everything that he's gathered, because of that banishment, all the new people he met. Yeah, I know what you mean, he said. And because of that, we're no longer treated like monsters, Yujito said. We've become recognized as heroes and saviors. You deserve that kind of life. After all, you're Jinjulkis, Naruto said. We've been aware that the only village that managed to hold the Kyuubi was Konoha. Are you from Konoha? Yujito said. I was, Naruto said. Was, B said. Until they threw me out. Threw you out? Why? Said Yujito, confused. Because I completed the mission. That doesn't sound right, yo, said B. I'll tell you later, maybe, Naruto said. Suddenly, their link ended as they were back in the forest. What were you 3 doing? Asked Amoy. Yeah, you 2 only stayed that silent when you're... They didn't realize what they were doing with Naruto. Is he one as well? Everyone down, Naruto said, as they all ducked, as they were nearly impaled by multiple kunais. As they looked up to see a group of bandits. Damn it, I was so close, leader said. As the Kumo ninjas draw their swords, as the bandits reload another chorus of kunais and shuriken, as they thrust them forward, but Naruto raised his hand and blocked all of them. Don't worry, I got this one, he said, as the group looked at him in shock. What the hell did he just do? As he just simply waved his hand as all of the kunais and shurikens were sent flying back. As some of the bandits managed to get past them, but some of them got impaled. As Naruto then lifted all of them up and thrust them backwards. What the hell? Amoy said. How the hell did he do that? Karu said. That's cool, said Samui. The bandits got back up. What the hell was that? Some kind of cheap trick, the leader said. No, this is a trick, Naruto said. Shadow Clone Jutsu, as he created dozens of clones. Oh, to use a jutsu like that means he must be where he's at, said B. As the clones levitated all of the bandits and started spinning them at an incredibly fast pace. I'm gonna be sick, one of the bandits cried. I'm dizzy, another one cried out. As the clones then lowered their hands, as the bandits hit the ground a loud boom. All of them out cold. That was so tough, Naruto says. He dispelled his clones. How did you do that? Was that some kind of wind jutsu? Asked Amoy. That was the only way for him to be able to manipulate the wind at an incredible level. Something like that, said Naruto. But you didn't use any ant signs, despite from your Shadow Clone Jutsu, Samui said. Yeah, what's up with that, Karu said. I have a very unique style of wind manipulating, Naruto said. I would like to know more about that style so I can commend it to my file, B said. Well, I suppose I could, Naruto said. Well, that was quick. How do you know we won't? Try to take any intel from you and kill you afterwards, Samui questioned. Naruto smirked as he concentrated. Soon enough his entire body was on fire, showing the seal on his stomach as his shirt was flapping wildly. Because now I can sense good and evil intentions, and I don't sense any wicked intentions from either of you. B crossed his arms as he smiled. That is using your Bijuu's power, for you fool. Naruto then powered down his Bijuu mode. So then, you will tell us more about yourself, Karu asks. Possibly, if you tell me more about you guys as well, said Naruto. Where should we start from, Amoy said. Possibly if we go somewhere else, Naruto said. That is if you don't have to be on your way. No problem, we still have some free time, Yujito said. Then let's head for town and talk there, Naruto said. Then let's go, Samui said as she started to walk off. Hey, come on, I know a shortcut, Naruto said. A shortcut? Through where, Amoy asked. This way, Naruto said, as he started to levitate off the ground, shocking all of them. Wait, is he flying? Karu said. As B whistled as he was impressed, as Yujito looked up. How are you doing that? She asked. I got the power, child, Naruto said like he was a preacher. So how is it a shortcut for all of us? Asked Samui. Easy, Naruto said, summon 4 clones. Getting down behind all of them. Before I do this, do you all trust me? He said. Trust you? Yujito asked. Yeah, you don't know me yet, and I don't know you guys yet. But do you trust me on this? He said. As the 5 of them looked at each other before looking at the Naruto clones and Naruto himself. Well, if you trust us to talk to each other, then yes, we trust you, Samui said. Splendid, Naruto said. As he got behind Samui, and his clones got behind the others. As the clone wrapped their arms around the 2 girls, making them blush slightly. As the other 2 put their arms under Killer Bee and Amoy. Karu wanted to protest, but she knew if she probably cursed, he would probably drop her out of the air. Okay guys, this is it, Naruto said. Whoa, easy, Karu said, wanting the clone that was carrying her to stay still. Oh god, we're off the ground, Amoy said. Everyone ready? Alright, let's go, he said as he took off into the sky. As they flew above the forest, all 5 of them have mixed expression. Flying like a bird. Stinging like a bee, B said. I'm walking on air, Amoy said as he cried as he tried to run airborne. This is just insane, said Karu. Whoa, this is super cool, said Samui. Awesome, Yujito said. As the group made their way towards the town, out of the forest. After renting out a luxurious suite. I can't believe he was able to afford such a room like this, Amoy said, looking around at the amazing large room. I like this guy already, Karu said with a smirk. So Naruto, what else can you tell us about yourself, besides your name? Samui asked. Well, I like ramen, playing the banjo, relaxing, training, and flying. I hate traitors, biased people, and people obsessed with power at an unhealthy level. I have a dream to one day create my own land where I will stand as ruler. Not bad, B said. Karu snorted. You have any idea how much time, effort, and authority it will take to get your own land? As a matter of fact, I do, Naruto said, and I already have various supporters from different acquaintances of mine. Now then, can you all tell me a little bit about yourself, Naruto said. Well, it's only right, Amoy said, going first. As you know, I'm Amoy. I like to take certain precautions when doing things. Some say I worry too much. I guess that's me in a nutshell. I like enjoying a good soccer, as you can see, he said, motioned to the lollipop in his mouth. Clearly, Naruto said, as he went towards Karu, who went next. Alright, I told you before, my name is Karui. I like a good fight, getting an action, but what I hate is being accused of being impulsive and hot-tempered, etc. I'm sensing Sakura vibes from this one, Naruto thought, but maybe if she turned away from hot-headed, she could be quite adorable. He then turned towards Samui. Well, I like my brother Atsui. despite his hot-headedness and cool things. Define cool, Naruto said. Shinobis in my opinion that deserve respect, strong man, and people who don't put themselves before others, she said. Not bad, any dislikes, Naruto said. These aches I occasionally get in my shoulder, she said, as she gripped her shoulder. Guess having breast those sides can have drawback, Naruto thought. He then turned towards the older shinobi, Yujito. Well, I like training cats, my teammates, and milk. Among my dislikes, I hate cat haters and anything that is spicy. My favorite hobby is playing the shamisen, she said. Neat, Naruto said, I play the banjo. You and I should jam sometime. He then turned, alright B, lay it on me. I'm Killer B, the rap master of Kumo. I like rapping, rhyming, my brother A, the Raikage. And just taking it easy. I dislike people who mock my rhyme and my rapping. My hobbies are coming up with new practices for my rhyme. And enjoying my swords, he said. Perfect, Naruto said, no, we're on better terms. But B, your brother's the Raikage, he said. Well, not, brothers by blood, he said. You see, we have a tag team tradition in Kumo. Every Raikage always have a tag team partner who bring out the Raikage full power and defends them as well. Their partners are picked by bringing the top student from the academy, where the Raikage pick them to see if they're in perfect sync. Amoy then spoke up, Naruto, forgive me for asking, but in the forest, the only time I ever see these two go quiet, and you do the same thing, so do you have a Bichu inside you as well? Said Samui, finishing his statement. How would you feel if I told you I did, Naruto said. Would that be such a big deal? To make you think that I'm not even human, he asked. No, not at all. We're completely okay with you having one, said Amoy. Yeah, we know B-Sensei and Yujito are Jinjulkis, and we don't think less of them. In fact, they're the most highly respected ninjas in our village, only second to the Raikage, said Karu. Well then, Naruto said, I have the Kyuubi. His name is Kurama. So, does that mean you're a Konoha ninja? Amoy asks. Not anymore, Naruto said. So you're a new nin? Karu asks. Banished one actually, Naruto said, by order of the Konoha Council, in conspiracy against the Hokage. Why would their village banish you? Amoy asks. Well, one of the reasons is because of what I am, but they had to find another reason to banish me. So they found a way. How? Samui asks. By damaging a spoiled brat they praised, like he was God. I'm lost here, Yujito said. Well, seeing how I'm no longer a shinobi of that village, telling you guys my life story won't get me in trouble, Naruto said. As Naruto told them his story. Really? Amoy said after Naruto finished. And the people of Konoha say that we are bad to the bones, said Karu as she crossed her arms. Definitely not cool, said Samui. Well, it's not all bad, Naruto said. As I said, my banishment turned into liberation. Don't you miss your village? Amoy asked. Well, I do miss my friends, Naruto said. Other than that, everyone else can kiss my ass. Yujito and I are lucky. You being treated like dirt is beyond sucky, said B. Thanks guys, but don't worry, this was 3 years ago. I've made quite a living on my own. I've been around multiple countries in Ninja Land and made all sorts of new friends. In fact, I'll show you, Naruto said, as he pulled out his scrapbook and started to show them the various pictures of him all around the nation. As Naruto also told them about Gaara, but he was brought back to life when a Bichu was removed from the host, Yujito said. But Naruto told her that an elder named Chiyo brought back him from the dead using her own life force. I guess you're more popular outside your village than inside it, Karu said, after seeing the numerous people Naruto knew and all around the elemental nation. That's a fact, Naruto said. Naruto, but how did he lose his Bichu? Well, it was extracted from him. Extracted? How? Samui asked. Any of you heard about the Akatsuki organization, Naruto asked. As the group looked at him confused. Who are they? Amoy asked. The Akatsuki is an organization with one goal in mind, to collect all of the 9 Bijus. I've met 4 of them and they were dangerous ones. Who are they? B asked. Well, the one I've met was someone from Konoha, Itachi Uchiha. The other one is a man from Kira called Kisame. The other one I dealt with was Deidara, a nutcase who used clay explosive. Another one was from the sand, as his name was Sorcerer the Red Sand. How did you survive your encounters with them? Karu asked. Well, the first time I met Itachi and Kisame, I was lucky. Erosenin or Jiraiya-sama was there to ward them off. But I actually confronted Sasuke and Deidara not too long ago, though they exceeded in taking Shikaku from Gaara. But my old team defeated Sasuke and I took on Deidara, and he was forced to explode himself, but I got away. And this organization is after the Biju inside of us. Why? Yujito asked. I do not know, but I can only assume that collecting all 9 of them is for something big. So be on the lookout for guys in black cloaks with red clouds on them. Doesn't sound hard to spot. It would be like pointing out a dot, B said. Yeah, spotting them is one thing. Fighting them is another. The members are powerful shinobis with talents that for all we know could rival a Kage level ninja. If you recall the reputation of ninjas like Itachi and Kisame in the bingo book, you should know how strong the other members are, since I don't know the rest of them yet, Naruto said. You're serious about this, Yujito said. I am, Naruto said. But if you're banished from your village, you can't be safe, Samui said. Yeah, that's one of the problems, Naruto said. I can't be truly safe until I make sure that the organization of the Akatsuki is gone. You are very worthy of respect, Samui said. Huh? Not very many shinobis who ever get banished from their village would survive, especially at the age as yours. Well, thanks. Hey, you guys hungry? How about I treat us to something to eat? No way, no how. You done more than for us. This time we will supply the chow, said B. We insist, Yujito said. Well, if you really want to. Okay, Naruto said. Soon the 5 of them left as they grabbed a bite to eat at the closest shop. As they were eating peacefully in the shop until they heard screaming outside as all of them rushed out. Yo, what's the show? B asked a man who was taking cover. It's bandits. They're raiding the town, the man said. Bandits, Naruto said. As he looked over as he saw it was the bandits, but now there were more of them. I thought they would be weak enough to die from such a fall, Naruto thought. It's the same bastards from the forest again, Naruto said. And I thought what you did to them would have killed them, Karu said. Oh well, this time I'll have them hit the ground from falling 100 feet in the air, Naruto said. This time we will help out, Yujito said. After all, we can't let you have all the fun, said Samui. Well, having too much fun to myself wouldn't please me anyway, Naruto said. So let's split up, that way we all get a cup, Lee said, as all of them took off. But guys, to be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And stay in tune for the rest of the what is coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them tonight, guys. So I already posted a new episode of What If Naruto Was a Badass Genius, so go ahead and enjoy that. Later on, over on Anime King, when we post a new episode of What If Naruto Was a Sasuke King, so stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Aizuna Uchiha Was Naruto's ancestor, so stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy as well, guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.